Hello Starseeds, this is Maiku with Starseed Tarot and Readings, and today we'll be doing a pick a deck reading to receive a message from 2020. The idea with this pick a deck or pick a card reading is to allow you to be open to the messages that are coming through to you from 2020 to help you enter into the new year. And so the cards that I have in front of you today, they are oracle cards, they are oracle decks. These are not tarot cards. And so there's nothing wrong with using one or the other. For me, oracle cards, they just deliver a message more clearly than tarot cards. And so for this purpose, I am only using oracle cards today. And before we get started, what I would like for you to do is to just take some time to meditate on the deck that is speaking to you. I would also like you to close your eyes and channel that energy and direct it to the deck that is resonating with you. I want you to call upon your spirit guides, your master guides, the ascended masters, your ancestors, the angels, and the starseed collective that is assisting you at this very moment to help deliver a message to you. All right. And so once you have your once you've become centered, you can open your eyes and pick your pile. And so over here is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, pile number 5, and pile number 6. All right, this is the reading for pile number 1. And what I'm going to do is shuffle and just see which cards will pop up, okay? And if these cards don't pop up, I will randomly select a pile for you. All right, here we go. So you have 3 cards out, and you have Rhodonite, Seraphos Green Quartz, and Spessartane Garnet. Okay, so I just need to take a few seconds to take in the message. I also have my book to assist me if I get stuck. Right away, what I'm getting with the Rhodonite is oftentimes this Rhodonite crystal. So the deck that you pick is called the Crystal Spirit Oracle. And so the cards in this deck will have different crystals on each card. And with Rhodonite, it's similar to rhodochrosite. I believe it's rhodochrosite, where the crystal is often used for healing with self-love. And so expect that in 2020 you will be doing a lot of self-care, self-love. It could even be a situation where you're getting over a relationship. This doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship. This could just be a relationship with someone else or even a job, okay? And so Rhodonite is a crystal that's often related to working with the heart chakra, of course, like unconditional love, and harmony in relationships, okay? Harmony in relationships, and easily connecting with others. So expect that in 2020, you'll be making the initiative to strengthen those relationships with others who you felt either have strayed, or reconnecting with them, reconnecting with those relationships. Something that I'm getting also from the book that comes with this oracle deck is discovering hidden talents to share with others. So you may even be discovering that you have this new skill that you that's surprising to you, that you're becoming so invested in. And so it could be the year for you to start working on that dream job. Let's see. So in addition to discovering those hidden talents, you're also drawing in more interest from people in your surroundings, or people who you are just starting to get to know more, either in your social circle or, again, relationship wise. It could even be something where you are you're developing a hidden spiritual talent. A hidden spiritual talent. Maybe you're becoming more intuitive, and you're reacting more with your heart rather than your mind. And so in my crystal video, I talk about how our lower chakras are usually neglected. Our lower chakras being the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, along with the heart. And so you will no longer be working with your higher up, your chakras in the higher part of your body. That includes the crown, the third eye, and the throat. You'll be speaking from the heart. You'll be doing things based on your heart. You'll be you'll be channeling that energy more, and that has to do with because you're giving yourself more worth. You're giving yourself more self-love. That it's not the year where you're taking care of yourself, and it's you who is coming first. Let's see. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm getting with rhodonite. And then with the second card, it's Seraphos Green Quartz. And so quartz in general is a really good all-around healer. And the fact that it's the Seraphos Green, you could be channeling higher vibrations, working with angels, and also, again, green. The heart chakra is the color green. And so oftentimes we think that the colors that are associated with love is pink, right? Pink with the rhodonite, but our heart chakra is actually green. And so the reason why that is because when we think about being giving and unconditional love, that comes from the energy of Mother Earth as constantly giving us resources, the abundance of resources to nurture ourselves. And so this green energy is also channeling love. Again, from the book, the Seraphos Green Quartz, essential meaning is heaven on earth. What is meant to be will be, right? And so because you're speaking with your heart, you're no longer thinking in your head about how things are going to fail. You are now more content with yourself and more confident with yourself because of all the love that you are giving yourself, that you are no longer ruminating on these thoughts of how it might not happen. You're going with your heart, you're going with your intuition, and you're going with the thought of what is meant to be will be, and I'm no longer tied to what is not going to work or what didn't work, right? So it's helping you to get over. In 2020, you're going to be able to get over all the things that tied you down for 2019 and 2018. 2018 was a rough year for a lot of people. 2019 was the year of repairing all the trauma, repairing all the hurt, and challenging yourself about how you are going to get over these challenges that are coming to you. 2020 is a year that you are going to thrive, for everyone, for the whole collective. You are going to thrive because you are now speaking with your heart. You're no longer thinking too much, ruminating too much about what is not going to be. Okay? And from the book, as long as we are human, we will face times when the only choice is to accept life on its own terms, right? I swear I did not read this section. This is actually a pretty new deck, and so as I'm channeling these messages too of self-love, unconditional love, you know, I'm receiving these messages, and purely out of just intuition, right? Speaking more from the heart. And so a perfect example of strengthening your intuition too is just speaking from your heart, being in tune, being present, being grounded. Green energy, earth energy, is about rooting yourself into the earth so that you can be present, and so that you're not channeling with your thoughts, you're channeling with your heart, with your body, with your groundedness. Okay. So the next card is the Spessartine Garnet, and Spessartine, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Spessartine Garnet, actually, the actual crystal works really well with channeling, with channeling with a Moldavite. And Moldavite is a very good amplifying crystal. It's not in this deck, but it indicates that you're interested in crystals. Moldavite is very good when combined with actually these two crystals. The work of both of these two crystals are elevated, and so I'm kind of getting that energy with the green quartz too, because Moldavite is a green crystal. Okay, so what these cards are revealing to me is that as a trio, right, the qualities of each of the purpose of these crystals, when you put them together, they work in harmonization. And when you're able to channel these skills and these emotional intuitions, and the way that you feel things when they're all balanced, and when you're able to channel them confidently, you are going to be on the right track of where you need to be, right? Even in those situations that are going to come to you in 2020 where it's going to be a challenge, ride the wave of challenge with confidence. Know that failure is okay. Failure is okay if you are expecting that failure is going to happen. Because if you are resisting failure, then it's going to be harder. When you accept failure, then it is going to be easier for you to handle, right? It's like knowing how to expect chaos, so you know how to deal with chaos. All right, so back on the Spessartine crystal. I don't know too much about the spiritual meaning or the essential qualities of a garnet, but I just know I combined them with my Moldavite, and it's elevated for channeling, right, with your third eye. In this instance, the Spessartine Garnet, the essential meaning is charm and charisma, shining and sparkling, being a brilliant beacon of confidence that inspires others, right? And I spoke about self-love to be able to navigate more confidently through your situations, right? With the example of the failure, when you expect the failure, you can navigate the whole situation more confidently, okay? So more about the Spessartine Garnet in the book. Every one of us is a being of light, meant to shine and sparkle. Your light draws others to you, for we all seek the light. The message of Spessartine Garnet Spirit is to embrace your natural charm and magnetism. All right, so this is about, again, that self-love and that confidence. Universe wants you to let it shine out, for your dazzling brilliance will be a beacon for others as you walk the healing path toward discovering your destiny. All right, so in addition to everything that I just shared about navigating things confidently, you will then, I kind of even getting the feeling that in 2020, you may even take on a leadership role because of how confidently you ride through those waves of failure. That people are going to aspire to be a part of your team. People are going to aspire to partnership with you, right? And even thinking about, taking on those ideas that you may want to do, right? Speaking with your heart, going in with intuition, and entertaining those ideas that you've been holding on to. When you can speak when you can speak with your heart and your intuition and perform well with confidence, you know, others will be attracted, that others will want to work with you. And so if you are starting a business, you know, when you can talk about it confidently, people are going to want to come to you. People are going to either want to be your clients, or people are going to want to be your customer, or people are going to want to be your partners. You know, the possibilities are really endless when you can channel that self-confidence and that confidence, and stay in your, you know, stay in your brilliance. Remember, you are the beacon of confidence for others. If you are in a position where you are meant to empower others, believe it, and follow it. Follow that you are capable of leading these people into success, and ride the wave of failure to be able to learn and overcome those challenges so that they know how to proceed in the future, right? Because this is all about how can you continue to be hit with the challenges, but then still rise up, get up, stand up, and not fall back down, right? And so pile number 1, I hope this resonated with you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you look forward to the next video, and don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, or comment down below. Alright, pile number 2, you picked this deck, and this deck is called The Secret Language of Light Transmission from Your Soul. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle, and whatever cards jump out, I will use it for your reading. Okay? This one popped up, and this one. I'm going to shuffle it one more time. Interesting. Ooh. This is it. Okay, so let's do this here, because this one was on top. Alright, so it looks like somebody is progressing into the new level of their spiritual journey. And so what this is telling me is that, or you, is that, let me just put it this way, is that you are again in the you are entering the next stage of your awakening, spiritual awakening. All right, so you may have been aware of your skills and your abilities, but 2020 is a year where you're going to start exploring divination and creating space for your spiritual craft. All right. Why am I seeing this? It's because soul writing is coming up, and automatically I'm thinking about automatic writing. It is also telling me that in 2020, you know, what I'm getting is that you are going to discover how you are the creator of your peace. You are the creator of your life, and also how you are going to continue navigating your spiritual journey. Soul writing, to me, I'm thinking about two things, right? Automatic writing, which is a divination method That's something that I do as well. It's very, very easy. So you may even be someone who is a writer or does something creatively, and you are good at connecting with the spirits, and the universe or your spirit guides, or your soul team through writing. Another thing too is that you are going to become aware of how you are writing your own story. And I'm getting I'm kind of getting right away, I'm getting the idea or the vision of a never ending story, right? Where I believe it was never ending story, where the book wasn't written yet, and so every page was being written as the person was writing the story. And so your fate is not written. You're starting to understand that your fate is not already written. You are creating your future. You are creating your story as you are living it. And so part of that comes into the idea of being present. In 2020, you are going to be in a space where you're starting to learn how you can channel these type of skills that you're developing, as well as developing the skills and writing your story, soul writing, right? You're writing a new story for your soul. You are someone who may have even been someone who had a past life where you wrote the lives of others. You wrote about the lives of others, and you helped to create. It's gonna sound crazy, but you help to create the life of others, write and create and manifest how others lived. And so for 2020, you're going to become aware of this. You're going to become more aware. I mean, I'm telling you this now, but in 2020, you're going to see it happen, and you're going to be so surprised at how quickly you can connect to this ability that you have. Part of that too is because you're going to figure out your creative space, or the space to work on your spiritual craft. And again, I keep going back to the idea of spiritual craft because I feel like you knew deep down inside that you had this ability. And everyone around you always told you, oh no, you're crazy. But now that you are sitting in this position, you're becoming aware that, oh crap, I was doing all of this already. It's just, it looked differently because I was using it and I was thinking about them as a practical skill. But now you're seeing how these practical skills are actually a part of your spiritual gifts. And so creating space, right? I think about this too, and I want to share a part of my experience is that before I was doing all of this, when I was still going to school, I was in grad school, I made a huge piece of work that focused on the menstrual cycle, and that's all that I kept doing. And for me, I just had to keep doing it. My thesis show was about the moon cycles. I labeled this whole show ritual markings of the moon goddess, and I created this sacred space. Where these rituals could take place, or these rituals, the markings of these rituals could be displayed. Now, at the time, I just thought about, I'm just kind of doing this thing, how interesting it is that I'm kind of being my own shaman in this space. Well, fast forward 5 years, now I'm like, holy crap, I was channeling something using my creativity, and I had the space to practice. I had not only the ritual space, but I had the space to display where all these rituals are taking place. Not only that, I was also doing a lot of writing. I was doing a lot of reading. I was doing a lot of creative problem solving. And when you take those, right, when you take those and you look at it from the perspective of your spiritual practice, it's essentially the same thing, right? Automatic writing is a divination tool, and yet we do writing every day when we're writing stories, or we're writing blogs, or we're writing a letter. We're thinking as we are writing. And even in my own work, I kept repetitively performing the same thing, the same markings, and ended up creating well over 1,000 marks. And for what reason I had to make that many, I really didn't, but I just knew I had to do it. And so having that spiritual gift along with the creative space, I had all of these, and now I could use what I knew from this practical life and apply it to my spiritual journey, my spiritual craft. And part of that is creating the space to practice your spiritual craft, right? Just like an artist needs a studio to practice their art, a spiritual practitioner or someone who needs a space to meditate or needs a space to hone in on the skills to practice their spiritual craft, they need that creative space, right? They need that meditative space, that space where you can perform. And so in 2020, you're going to arrive at that. You're going to arrive at creating a space for you to either explore your practical gifts or your spiritual gifts. And part of those gifts is going to involve soul writing, or automatic writing, or manifesting. You can also do manifestation through automatic writing, through spells, through chants, through writing what you want to come into to manifest, right? And so think about how you can channel the things that you already know about what you do and how that can become a part of your spiritual craft. 2020 is a year where you're going to start exploring that. Start accessing those resources. Start researching what you're going to do. Start researching, your experiences that you're having in your awakening. It's something as simple as going onto Google and looking up, okay, where am I at on my spiritual journey? Or what kind of awakening am I going to have? Or what kind of awakening am I experiencing at this moment? Or even looking up, how do you manifest, right? Or how do you do automatic writing? It really just takes that moment of curiosity and taking action on it, initiating it for you to begin that practice, to begin practicing that craft. And so pile number 2, this is all that I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this resonated with you. I hope this helps you enter into 2020 with a good note. Don't forget, if you want to like, follow, subscribe, or comment down below. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next video. Alright, this is the reading for pile number 3, and you picked the messages from your animal spirit guides. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix these until some cards come out, and we'll use those to do your reading. So there's no telling how many cards are going to pop out, right? Alright, well, those are going to be it. Okay, so first ones that popped out is the falcon, the kiwi, and polar bear and the condor. All right, I'm just going to take a few seconds to gather the information for the message that is coming to you from 2020. Okay, this guy over here. So the message I'm getting from 2020 is that you're gonna come across quite a few or a particular significant situation that is gonna set you back. And what your guides are saying is that you want to step back from the situation. The Condor card says you are too enmeshed in the situation, so step back and see the bigger picture before making any decisions or taking action. And so your guides or the message that is being delivered to you from 2020 is to just be present and stay grounded. Stay present, stay grounded, stay level-headed. Be level-headed about the situation. The contradiction here is the falcon or the peregrine falcon. And the card reads, act on the opportunity that's before you and commit to it without equivocation. And so then with the even though it sounds contradictory, right? Even though it sounds contradictory, hold on, it's it's gonna make sense. Act on the opportunity. So when you do act on the opportunity, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. Don't think too much about it. Think about how it's going to be a situation that whether it is going to be a failure or a success, it's going to serve you. And so being present is reacting to the situation at that very moment, how you feel is serving you, right? Calling on that intuition to make that decision. Or you're thinking too much about the pros and cons of a situation, you're getting too caught up in it and you're being pulled both ways. Follow your intuition and act on it, right? You're going to have an opportunity to see the bigger picture, but only until you make that decision, right? Make that decision and see how it goes. Riding that wave. That's kind of the message that I'm getting a lot in the readings that I've been doing is ride that wave. Ride that wave to the very, very end. Because no matter what the situation is, it is going to serve you a message or a lesson. Okay? I'm just going to pull this guy back here. All right. I'm kind of feeling like, again, going back to that situation. So, rethinking now that with the new arrangement. And again, it could be a multitude of things that could be coming through, right, for 2020. But one of the things that's coming out very strongly is that there is going to be a situation that is going to that's coming up in 2020 that's going to gravely impact your life. It's going to gravely impact your life. And so with this arrangement here, it's using your intuition to make those decisions and in whatever situation, it could be being true to yourself, right? Because then the polar bear card is about stand up for yourself and speak your truth respectfully and compassionately with no attachment to the outcome. Hence, this card is also telling me that, while you are acting on the opportunity through intuition, and the Condor card is saying you're too enmeshed in this situation, well, trust that you made that decision for a reason, and you did it with the higher, greater good, and it wasn't intended to hurt anyone, right? It's kind of like getting into a messy situation, even though you were not the person at fault. You felt obligated to try and resolve the situation, but now because you felt obligated to be involved in the situation, you have to solve it. You have to solve it, even though it is none of yours to correct, right? So it's nothing that you had to do to correct, even though you felt like you could make it right. Well, when you involve yourself in the situation, it's going to make it messier, because now there's more than one person who, or if a situation involved two people, there's now three people who are involved in the situation, and it's nobody's other business other than the two people who are involved in the situation. So you putting yourself in that situation, it's gonna make it messy. But if that is a decision that you're wanting to do, just remember to stand up for yourself. Learn how to get out of it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with telling that person, I did this because I thought I could help. There's nothing wrong with saying that. If you want to get involved, then by all means, that is up to you. But remember, there are repercussions to involving yourself into a situation that is not yours to deal with, right? So you're maybe even someone who jumps at the drop of a dime to help out a friend. But you know that in that situation, your friend might even be at fault, and now you've just kind of messied it all up, right? And so how do you deal with it? Well, own up to that, and step back from the situation and let it play out. It's going to be a messy situation is what I'm kind of getting from 2020, but be prepared to deal with it. And it's kind of interesting too that the Kiwi card comes up, because the Kiwi card says do a walking meditation each day for the next week. That could even be how you deal with the situation at hand once it comes up, right? Owning up to it, taking time to yourself to be that hermit, be that person to it's okay to be reclusive, to do some reflection. I'm kind of even getting the feeling that you're going to be doing a lot of reflection in 2020, a lot of self-reflection in 2020, and you're going to be spending a lot of time to yourself to help you deal with a lot of the people in your social circle. A huge part of that is going to be that you're going to feel like you have to solve people's problems, and what 2020 is delivering, the message that it's delivering is that you have to know when to stay in your lane and when not to. You're gonna be doing a lot of staying in your lane in 2020, and it's just kind of coming back to taking care of yourself. And the best thing you can do for your friends that get into these messy situations is to let them deal with it. So it doesn't go without saying that you are a good friend. The cards are revealing that you are a good person. You want to do things right. You are somebody who is very just. But 2020 is telling you, the message for 2020 is that be cautious, be careful, follow your intuition. If you feel like you have to respond, do so, but acknowledge the consequences. There are always consequences to being involved in situations that are not yours. And if that is something that you feel you need to interfere in for the safety of your friend, then by all means, do it. Do it with a clear mind, right? Do it with a clear mind. Act on the opportunity that's before you and commit to it without equivocation, and then deal with everything else that's gonna come up, right? Stand up for yourself and then step away from the situation when it is no longer serving you. You're gonna be learning from the situation in 2020. And so be prepared for it. 2020 is telling me to tell you, the cards are telling you to be prepared for this, so that for your own sanity and safety and sanity of your friends and others, you can handle the situation better, that it doesn't escalate. Okay, so pile number, I think this is pile number 3. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this resonated with you, and if it did, feel free to leave a comment down below, like, follow, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in the next video. Daily Guidance Oracle deck. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shuffle until a few cards come up, and then I will go from there. And this one. Let's see these guys. So these guys wanted to come up together. Oh, a lot of stand your ground. Hello from heaven. Father's love and embrace the moment. So let me take a few seconds to take this in. Embrace the moment. Father and embrace the moment. Alright, so it seems that you're going to be dealing with a situation where you are going to feel like it's alone. You're going to feel like you know, things aren't working out for you. I feel like 2020 is going to be the year where you are starting this new adventure, starting this new endeavor, and you've never done this before. And what you want to do is you're having to go through quite a few people to get to what you want to do, right? And I'm kind of even getting something where it's kind of like tough love, and you're wishing that if someone was here, the situation would be better. The tough love I'm getting from is from a male figure, hence the father's love, and the hello from heaven is from a motherly figure, a motherly maternal figure, a female figure. I'm not saying that these two could be related. Most definitely they could be someone who you know, but you're gonna be feeling like you're doing this alone and you feel like nobody is gonna help you, but know that you're gonna have divine support. How you can find out this support, or how the support is coming to you, or you're receiving messages of confirmation, is through, you know, receiving signs. And the card from Hello from Heaven states, your loved ones in the spirit world want to connect with you as much as you want to connect with them. They know you've been thinking of them, and they're sending you signs and symbols to show you how much they love you, to prove they're with you at this time. And so you're going to be dealing with a really, really tough situation. You're going to be dealing with a very, very tough situation, either you know, grieving grieving a loss of, you know, a job, or grieving the loss of, you know, something that is physical, like a relationship. And you're gonna feel like you're alone. You're gonna feel like you're alone, but know that your spirit guides and your loved ones are here with you. In addition to that, there's the father's love. A father's love for his son or daughter never dies. The strength gained from such love is often unquantifiable, in that it can be tapped into at any time for whatever reason, whether your father is still here or has passed. A father's love is one of the strongest bonds any of us will ever experience. And so I want to emphasize this particular part of the card, whether your father is still here or has passed. This is where the tough love comes from. Even though you feel like it's very difficult for you to gain acceptance from this male figure, or it was difficult, know that there was always it was always driven by love, a father's love. This is a situation where it's not. This is a situation where, truly in your heart that this person gave you that toughness because you knew that it would help you be stronger. Know that it stems from pure unconditional love. Okay. I want to also read off this card, Stand Your Ground. Standing your ground is an empowering confidence building action to take from time to time. Now is a moment when you need to stand your ground. You know you can do it, and you know that by doing so, you'll be the victor, right? So, whatever that you are going to be dealing with in 2020, remember to stand your ground. Don't give in. This could even be a situation where you have to prove yourself, or you have to stand your ground because somebody is trying to tear you down, or your own ego, the thoughts that are bringing you down. How do you stand your ground against it? I've come across this quite a bit too, where I cycle thoughts of self-worthlessness, and I have to fight through those thoughts by thinking about the people who support me, and the person who is here to help me with my spiritual journey, the person who is here in my journey, alongside me as I'm navigating my journey. And so I fight through those thoughts, and somebody put it in a very, very good way, is that these thoughts, you can think of them as like the little gremlin or the goblins that are trying to tear you down. Those thoughts that we call the gremlin, or I call the gremlin or the goblin, it is the ego. The ego is trying to make you feel like you're lesser than what you are, because it's afraid of change. It's afraid of change. And so the whole idea with standing your ground against your ego is that you are resilient. You know that you can resist the toxic thoughts. You know that you can do it because you are still here. You're still here and fighting, right? And so, hello from heaven, this card also messages from your guides or loved ones who have passed. They're here to remind you to stand your ground. Like, look at how far you've come, right? So 2020 is a year of showing you, like, hey, there's going to be challenges, but look at how far you've come. It's like leveling up, right? You're leveling up constantly once you overcome a challenge. People tend to think that in the spiritual journey, when they are experiencing the good things is when they've leveled up, when essentially they level up during these challenges, right? They level up at the darkest moments where you overcome them. That's how you level up. That's how you grow in your spiritual journey, because you gain so much more from that situation, so much more from that toxic moment, so much more from those obstacles. You gain so much. You prove to yourself at that very moment that you have overcome these toxic habits. And the times when you are happy is the time when you celebrate, right? Celebration is about being happy and embracing the moment. Embracing the moment, right? Embracing the moment and just being grateful. You need that moment of happiness too, to embrace the moment and to celebrate and channel all that positive energy And there was another word that popped up too, but it's about celebrating it and thriving in it. Because we do need a moment to thrive in our successes and victories, and to celebrate once we've won, right? Once we've succeeded, and once we've arrived out of a situation victoriously, we celebrate. We celebrate and thrive, and we live in the moment. We absorb the sun and all the good energy. And so there's going to be a lot of challenges, but there's also going to be a lot of all that I have for you. The message from 2020 is that there's going to be a lot of obstacles, but remember to stand your ground. You are being supported by loved ones, your spirit guides, those who are living and who have passed. And there's going to be a lot of challenges, but you are going to overcome them. Once you stand your ground and overcome them, remember to embrace the moment. Okay? And so thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this resonated with you. Feel free to leave a comment down below, like, and if you haven't, follow and subscribe to this channel and all my other social media platforms. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next video. And you picked the moon cycle or moonology deck. And this uses the energy of the different cycles of the moon to provide you with a message. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shuffle until some cards jump out, and I will use those to do your reading. Okay. Oh, there we go. This is gonna drop those out, you know. They weren't gonna stay in my palm, so let's read these guys out. Oh, he had another one behind there. Don't let pride get in the way. That was the first card. Don't let pride get in the way. It's a full moon in Leo. Believe in the impossible, blue moon energy. Okay. Here's your other ones. Be bold and make the first move, cardinal moon. Conclusions are within reach, full moon eclipse. Okay. A new start is coming. Oh. What do you need to release? Waning moon. And communication is key. New moon in Gemini. All right, let me just take a few minutes to gather the information from your reading. This is a lot of information. I'm kind of even getting the feeling there's going to be a lot of changes and transformations, especially because you picked the moon deck. The moon is about emotions and transformations, changes. Either it's going to occur or you are looking for a new change. For 2020, you are just kind of bored with what is going on, and you're obviously looking forward to 2020. Okay, let me see. Okay, so new start's coming. That's the first card that stuck out to me. I'm kind of even getting that it could be a potential relationship, right? Especially with these guys. So I'm kind of getting relationship vibes. And I'm just moving these around so that it makes a little bit more sense to me. So with these This is definitely what's starting off your year. Obviously, a new start is coming, right? Literally 2020. But I think it also means a new relationship. A new relationship. And I'm getting this strong feeling of a romantic relationship. It's going to be new. And then I'm also getting, do you need to release in combination with a new start, right? In order for you to have this new start, you have to also release some things. Don't let pride get in the way, right? What do you need to release? What are you holding on to? What are you holding on to that is enabling you or disabling you from being in this new relationship, right? In this new relationship, what has been holding you back? Why are you still not with the person who you feel like everything just seems right? What do you need to release? Is it your pride? Don't let pride get in the way. Is it because you're like, oh my gosh, he's too short, you know what, I'm not feeling it? Are you just gonna let like a simple thing as height get in the way of why you don't want to be with this person? Getting that, right? I'm getting very strong relationship vibes, and the height thing is just an example, right? It's not literal, but I'm kind of getting like a new relationship, but you're holding on to a lot of things. In addition to that, be bold and make the first move. Be bold and make the first move, right? Be bold and make the first move. Like, are you just waiting for him to like give you your call back, right? Are you waiting? Are you like, what are you waiting for? You know, like, this could even be pertaining to a job. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, this job seems like a perfect job, but what keeps being in the way? Can it even be your pride? Maybe that's something that you have to release, right? Could it be that, and I'm getting the whole, like, you're waiting for them to respond because of the communication key. And this is the same thing with your job, right? Are you waiting for that person who told you about this job to tell you, like, hey, you got the job, or give you more hints about the possibilities of you getting this job? Like, what are you waiting for? If you really want it, you have to go for it. It's really what I'm getting to. Like, if you really want it, you have to go for it. You can't just be the and I'm kind of even getting like Taurian or Earth energy because of the whole stubbornness. Like, no, I don't care. Like, if he wants to get with me, or if they want me to be hired for this job, then they're gonna have to work harder for me. If you really want it, you're not just gonna let. You're just not gonna let like the universe hand it to you, because they will hand you a challenge that you will learn from. Just remember that. Okay, so if you really want it, you have to actively work on. You have to actively work at wanting it, right? Manifestation just doesn't happen because you say it and it's gonna happen. Yeah, so you also have to put some work into it. So I'm kind of getting a lot of relationship or work related things. It's like, if you want it, you gotta go get it. You gotta be that go-getter. You have to believe that you can get it. Believe in the impossible. Conclusions are within reach. All right, so you have to believe that this is what you deserve. Like, this relationship, this job is what you deserve. And for you to be able to get that relationship or that job that you want, you have to look within for those conclusions. How are you gonna make this work? Don't just make it work because you feel like it's gonna look right. It's gonna be what everybody else thinks is best for you. Look within. How does this serve you? And if it doesn't, then if it doesn't serve you, then by all means, like, don't pursue it. Conclusions are within reach, right? So there's a lot of new things that are coming your way, and yeah, this is kind of what I'm getting. So all that I have for you. I hope this resonated with you. If it didn't, that's completely fine. If it did, feel free to leave a comment down below, like the video, or subscribe and follow to my social media platforms, including this channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next video. Alright, this is the final reading. This is your reading, and you picked the Animal Spirits cards. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shuffle these cards and see which ones pop out for you, and I'll use those to do your reading. And again, this is a reading for receiving messages from 2020 to help you enter into the new year. Okay. Let's do this guy then. Okay, interesting. A lot of insect cards coming up. So we have the butterfly card, the scarab. Oh, I think it's this way. The scarab and the insect, and you can see the praying mantis right here. And so just give me a few minutes to kind of, so right away I'm getting a lot of renewal, regeneration, rebirth, so a lot of something. So you're, the fact that these are also insects, I'm getting the feeling that there's going to be a lot of, you're essentially coming out of a really dark situation, and you're finding your way again. You're finding how to heal. You're finding ways to heal through spirituality, feminine power. I'm kind of even getting the feeling that 2019 was a really rough year for you. You may have been the subject of, a situation that was very traumatic. Very traumatic in the sense of it affected you, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And you're wanting to come out of that situation. You're wanting to find out how you can return that power to yourself. And as we know, the butterfly is a sign of transformation, right? We can even see here in this piece of work that, this butterfly is a woman. This butterfly is a woman, and it is not only her that she identifies as a woman, but her whole spirit and her being and the energy she is channeling is very feminine. And even with this insect card, on the back it reads feminine power, spirituality, and renewal. And so the insect that's being represented is the praying mantis. And something that might be a little bit morbid, but kind of cool to know, is that the praying mantis, the female praying mantis, is larger and stronger than the male. And after they mate, the female praying mantis actually bites the head off of the male praying mantis. And so while it's very morbid, we also think about how in the natural world, the female gender, or the female sex, has a lot of power. And so 2020 is kind of allowing you to return to that power, seek what power empowers you, to strengthen you spiritually, um, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Um, Something that also popped up too is that the praying mantis, it's a very beautiful creature. It's renowned as the equivalent of an apex predator in the insect world. And so the praying mantis is actually a very powerful creature. It's a very powerful creature. Again, with the description on the back of this card, insects are the most plentiful of beasts, consisting of more than 800,000 species. Their ability to metamorphose and fly has led to frequent symbolic associations with the spirit world and the spirit and spiritual renewal. And cool thing too is that you received all the insects that fly. All the insects that fly, the scarab. The scarab is a very, very spiritual symbol in Egyptian civilization. It's known as a very, very powerful symbol. And on this card is about regeneration. To the Egyptians, the scarab, a type of beetle, symbolized the powers that govern the celestial bodies. A great scarab was thought to roll the sun across the sky. This belief arose from the scarab's habit of shaping a piece of ox dung into a ball, into which it laid its eggs, and rolling it about, generally from east to west. Scarab-like jewels were often placed in tombs of deceased relatives to give them the power of the sun and to facilitate their resurrection. So, what I'm also getting is that you are going to be, or what you should be doing, is channeling the energy of the sun to rejuvenate, right? Looking towards methods of rejuvenation, regeneration. So, I had to cut out for a little bit. But, so, to continue what I was saying about the insects that are coming up too, they're all flying insects. They're also very powerful insects. And each one of these insects has the ability to metamorphosize, transform. And they're all revered as very powerful creatures in the spiritual realm. So the scarab is about resurrection and regeneration, whereas the insect or the praying mantis is about feminine power, spirituality, and renewal. And the butterfly is on transformation, joy, lightness, and rebirth. So you're going to be experiencing a rebirth. Throughout 2020, you're going to redefine your identity. You're going to redefine your power and what you deserve to help you continue to navigate and stay in your power. Now, we already know all the connections or the meanings relating to butterfly, but I want to read this too, just to provide you with what the creator of the deck wrote. So butterflies are a symbol of transformation, joy, lightness, rebirth. The metamorphosis of a caterpillar to a butterfly embodies the principle of physical and spiritual transformation. And the butterfly lighting upon a flower is the very essence of joy, beauty, and freedom. The butterfly has been symbolic of the soul in early Christianity, conjugal bliss in China, and change and joy in Native American. In early Minoan and Mycenaean cultures, the butterfly goddess was a key emblem symbolizing new life after death. Okay, and a little information about the painting in the front, or the image in the front. In this painting, the woman's face emerging from the chrysalis-like womb suggests transformation and rebirth. The upper face of the butterfly body resembles a Christian Madonna, which reinforces the idea of spiritual birth and new life. Right, so here you go. How interesting. Yeah, so you're going to be going through a period of rebirth, regeneration, resurrection, and renewal. And it is going to be a beautiful process for you. And one of the things that's coming up for me too is to tell you to embrace the moment. So the message that's coming through to you from 2020 is that it's going to get better. You're going to be experiencing this new phase of your life. 2020 is about transformation, changing, what it means to be empowered, taking back your power and reclaiming it. It doesn't get any clearer than, feminine power, spirituality, and renewal, and all the cards that came through to you. So and I wish you luck on your transformation and your journey. If this resonated with you, feel free to give a like or leave a comment down below. If it didn't, that's completely fine. Also, I encourage you to follow and subscribe to my channel or any other social media platform. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next video.